This has been week 4 of The Artist's Way. I think the theme for this week was recovering a sense of integrity. The main thing that this week is known for is being the reading deprivation week, which in modern times people have interpreted to be more so media deprivation or content deprivation. Basically, Julia Cameron asks that for the full week, you restrict yourself from reading, watching TV, movies, that type of thing. And then people have also restricted social media, short form content, etc. I do think that at its core, this is a good exercise, especially if you are trying to shift gears from consuming to creation. But I'm gonna be honest, I really heavily struggled this week in multiple ways. The parameters that I set for myself were probably looser than what she would be okay with and looser than what a lot of other people doing the artist way would allow. But these are the parameters that I set for myself. No reading, no movies, no social media, no YouTube, and no TV unless it was with my boyfriend watching the show that we occasionally watch together, which is Ghosts on Paramount. It's very good. You know, he's not doing the artist way, and it's a way we spend time together. So I knew I was going to allow myself to watch that with him. Oh, and I was going to allow myself to we're playing a video game together right now. And kind of the main reason I was allowing myself those two things is because that is more about connection, whereas like a lot of the other restricted activities are about passive consumption and limiting that. Oh, and I allowed myself to have my New York Times games on my phone because they make me happy. And they are like a brain exercise to me, even though like I did reach a point of desperation this week where I was constantly refreshing crossplay to see if everybody played me back yet. My weeks are Friday to Friday. And so I started last Friday. I started my workday. I didn't have any like background noise. And this silence brought forth unexpected feelings that I have been avoiding fully processing. And it kind of turned into a spiral panic situation. So I did break on the first day. Like, I was feeling very overwhelmed by my feelings and I didn't know how to escape them. And I was trying to work. And so once I was off work, I was just like, I literally can't take this. I need to like nap. And I like napped with a video playing. Later in the evening, I was feeling better, but I was just like, I need a reset. And I did watch some reality TV. I watched The Ultimatum on Netflix. And then I started Saturday fresh, a new day. It was a successful day. I did not cheat at all. I went to Home Goods. I did some organizing in my kitchen, which has been bothering me for a really long time. And then on Sunday, I had a slow morning with my boyfriend. We did watch some TV and played a chapter of Dispatch, the video game we're playing. And I forgot to do my morning pages also. Monday, I had all of my free time pretty much occupied by finishing editing the video that I needed to post on Tuesday. And so I managed completely fine Monday. Tuesday, I wrote a letter to my grandma. We have a correspondence. She's one of my like biggest artistic inspirations. She's an amazing watercolor artist and sometimes oil painter. and we've been corresponding regularly by letter for probably close to a year now, I'd say. And it's just a very sweet part of my life now, but I wrote about like the artist's way and what I was doing. I shared some like quotes from the book that I thought she might find helpful. And yeah, it felt really nice. I sent her the picture of the duck that I drew in last week's video because she likes when I send her evidence that I'm drawing and stuff because she just loves to see me being artistic. And then the rest of that day, I was so bored. Like, so bored. And yet, it didn't make me do anything that was, like, artistic or productive, really. I played Scrabble by myself for a little bit, and I would do it again. But it was just tough because my brain was really tired. I did do some more work on my short story. It's very slow going, but the thinking that I got done and like the outlining that I got done this week has gotten me to a place where there's really no reason for me to like avoid constructing more of a draft, which as you can tell, I'm hesitating and scared of. But it did bring clarity. Like I feel like I know where I'm going now. Wednesday sucked so bad. I was so bored. I listened to a lot of music that day because like I could not take it. I felt like I was going crazy, and I did break again. I watched more of The Ultimatum in the evening. And then the final day of it was Thursday, and it was great. I was very comfortable with the silence and just an enjoyable time. So finished strong, started off really, really weak / in a very vulnerable place. Part of me was like feeling very much like a failure and that like there was something wrong with me, that it was difficult to complete this week with like no entertainment, and like there still was some entertainment, but significantly less. I still think that I did a pretty good job, all things considered. I did not watch any YouTube, which is like one of the number one consumption habits that I have. And I did not listen to any like podcasts while I was doing things. And I didn't go on social media at all. So these are some of just the general observations that I made looking back on how this week went. Number one, without the promise of reading a book in the morning or watching YouTube or something like that, I don't want to get up. This week especially, I was just like, what's the point of getting up early? I can't do anything that would be fun. Observation number two, I really enjoyed having social media blocked on my phone. I think I might just keep Instagram blocked for a while on my phone. Because like I can, if I really, really want to go on Instagram, I can do it on my laptop. But there's really no reason that I need to always have like access to Instagram. I just didn't really think about it. And if I didn't really miss it, then like why would I keep it permanently available? To block social media apps, I used this app called Focus. It's free. It's a really good alternative to like the physical brick. This is completely free. You don't even need to like give them your email to sign up. I fully recommend it. The only social media that I actually missed having access to was Reddit, because I am one of those people that like Googles their question and then Reddit at the end for like everything, and I don't trust a decision until I've consulted the people of Reddit. So just like looking up regular information was kind of a struggle because I also had it blocked in the browser. And like a lot of the top search results are Reddit now, so that was inconvenient. I do sometimes also get sucked into Reddit and the scrolling and the refreshing, so like that's something that I'll need to continue to moderate and monitor, but I will be unblocking that one. My next observation is that I only want to do / have the capacity to do brain heavy work in the morning, which makes a lot of sense because like in my work day, it's the same way. I save my like heavy analytical work, critical thinking stuff for the morning because that's when I'm clearest and the most focused. And into the afternoon and evening is when my cognitive abilities wane heavily. So it's kind of made me rethink a little bit about scheduling in time for writing in a more intentional way because I'm getting to especially on a work day, I'm getting to the end of my work day. My brain is exhausted and does not want to think about anything. Like that's where I think I need to schedule most of my consumption because I'm tired. And like most of my creation should be scheduled in the morning. So I would like to do that in this upcoming week. My final overall observation, I got so much less movement and exercise in this week. I did go on a decent amount of walks like around my neighborhood, and that helped with the like boredom fighting because when I'm walking outside, I do not need like music or podcasts or anything. Like I feel sufficiently stimulated and I just like enjoy the nature sounds. That's not a problem for me. I work remotely, and so if I don't schedule in pockets of time where I intentionally move my body, I will get like less than 2,000 steps a day. And that is just like not healthy. It's not good for me mentally or physically. And I have this year entered a new era of like loving getting my steps in. And the main way that I've done that is like, yes, walking outside more, but two, when I'm having my like TV watching time in the evening, I walk on my walking pad. And that makes me want to walk on my walking pad because I'm stacking that habit with something that's fun and enjoyable, which is like watching my shows and whatever. Similarly, like going to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym and like walk on the treadmill to silence. I simply can't do that. Kudos to anyone who can. You're stronger than me. I think that that is one thing that is a net negative from this week is just like I don't feel as good because I haven't gotten in as much movement. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I did not do any of the prompts this week. I simply didn't want to, and I was feeling a lot of kind of like rage this week, like, and just very irritable, which I think is pretty normal for this week. It's very challenging for most people. And it made me want to resist Julia and her recommendations. I felt very like rebellious teenager not wanting to do my chores or something with her. I do know that like vaguely there were things that were about like designing your ideal space and thinking about like the things you liked to do as a kid and I guess like I sort of still thought about those things like designing my space in a more intentional way like with my kitchen. But yeah, the basic check-in for week 4. Did you do your morning pages? I did most days. I want to say I did 5 out of 7 for that this week. And then did you do your artist date? Kind of. I went to Home Goods and like taking myself out to like browse is like one of my favorite things. And so in a sense, like, yeah, I did. But it was also like very productivity oriented. Like it was to accomplish a job in my house. And I don't know if that counts. I think maybe because of the parameters around this week, I just was feeling like less creatively inspired, which maybe is the opposite of what's supposed to happen, but I have to speak my truth. Like that's just kind of how it was for me this week. There were a lot of moments of anger, self-doubt, feeling defeated, and a past version of me would have taken the fact that I did this week imperfectly as a signal that I should give up now because I've already failed in some way. But the new me is not gonna think like that. We're just gonna take what we learned from this week and then keep moving forward. So I'm very happy it's over. I'm very excited to catch up on my YouTube subscriptions and catch up on my stuff, and also make sure I'm scheduling in some writing time for this upcoming week and scheduling out a better artist date that is just better. So thank you for watching the wrap up for this week. This was kind of a disorganized, rambling video, maybe. I just didn't really know how else to talk about it without it being that way. But I will be back next week for week 5, so thank you for watching. Bye.